Yo, this Jeffrey guy is kind of toxic. Jeffrey thinks that all women are hoes, all women are cheaters, all women are sluts. Relax, Jeffrey. He's been watching too many red pill videos on YouTube. Jeffrey defies all odds and then gets himself a girlfriend. He's so happy for a few days. And that's when the negative thoughts start kicking into his mind. She's cheating, she's getting down by some guy right now. That's not good for your mental health, Jeffrey. But he can't help having these thoughts. And now he doesn't trust his girlfriend. She goes to the toilet and guess what Jeffrey does? He spies through her phone. Who the f is this guy? That's it, he's had enough. She's texting other guys, he's gonna break up with her. He tells his girlfriend that she's cheating, that she's texting this guy. But Jeffrey, that's my brother. Oh, now Jeffrey feels like an idiot and he apologizes, but it's too late. His girlfriend leaves him and Jeffrey sinks deeper and deeper into the toxic belief that women shouldn't be trusted. Adonis trusts his woman and his woman trusts Adonis. They have a beautiful, healthy, happy relationship. Does that mean that Adonis never gets negative thoughts? No, of course not. Everyone gets some kind of negative, insecure thoughts, but it's how Adonis responds to those thoughts that really matter. When Adonis gets a negative thought, a thought of a trust issue with his woman, he tells her exactly what he's just thought. He says, oh, my brain just gave me this thought. And together they unite as a team to overcome that situation with total honesty, authenticity, and communication. A relationship like this is so nourishing for Adonis and his woman Anastasia. You know, it's hard for me to tell you a story about this one particular girl. So the first serious relationship I got into at age 19, because it was quite traumatic. I cried a lot. I had only kissed girls before her. And so this was like my first, like everything, like first time having sex, first time bonding with a woman, first time truly falling in love, like fully was in love with this girl. We met just before university started, so we actually spoke online. Like we had both been in the university Facebook pages, and I saw her post in one of the pages, and obviously like just shoot my shot, clicked on her profile, sent her a message, and like pretended to be interested in the post. Like she asked if anyone was gonna join the archery club. I had never considered it, but I was like, oh yeah, like I've been looking for an archery club. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. But I sent her that message, we actually hit it off, and like we started messaging every day, and eventually we started like going on video calls like every single day. Like she became like my favorite person to speak to, and we bonded like really well. You know, I had a lot of problems and shit, and we're gonna discuss them, like trust issues, but like I was also like a very sweet guy. So for all the time that we were speaking on these video calls, I would always make notes of like the things that she would say that she liked. And so when we met this one time before university actually started, like she wanted to go like see the accommodation, like the student halls that she was gonna live in, like she had a viewing there. I met her then, and we had like a really nice date and everything, and I brought like a big like gift bag of like everything that she had mentioned, like this particular teddy bear, her favorite snacks, chocolates, everything, bro. And so we had like a proper sweet time, like a very nice day together. We say goodbye knowing that we're gonna see each other again in like a month when we move in. We move in, I make her my girlfriend on the first day, we have sex. It's like the first time I've ever had sex, and we fall in love pretty much straight away. You know, it's so amazing, I've never experienced this before, and that's when I start getting like quite negative, possessive thoughts. I'm so vigilant, like, you know, I'm so anxious about everything. So I realize now when I look back to this, I've done like a lot of like self-discovery. I'm naturally what's called the anxious attachment style. Your attachment styles are formed at childhood, and they're kind of like your dating personality, like what you're like eventually when you're an adult, when you start dating. And it's kind of formed through like how your parents loved you. And so maybe my parents like didn't operate in the best way when I was a child, and it made me anxious in certain ways. And so as an adult, my natural style is the anxious attachment style. I've made really good progress, and now it's more of the secure style. But at least back then, before I knew anything about like attachment styles, dating personalities, mental health or something, you know, self-improvement, I didn't know any of that. And so I was really anxious. I'll be in my lecture constantly getting the thoughts, yep, she's someone else right now. At the time, 100%, bro, I was watching like these toxic videos online, like, and I know so many young men watch them about like alpha males, red pill, like you go king, you do this, like be toxic toward like all this shit. I was watching so many of them which was saying like, yep, every girl's cheating, every girl's getting by at least 4 girls. I was watching this shit, so of course it was all in my mind. Bro, it would be like 11 a.m. in my lecture, and I'd be thinking, yep, she's someone else right now. But I remember doing this, which is so fucking weird, bro. I wouldn't even tell her that I was coming over. I would just kind of like surprise her by just walking straight and, you know, like go through the accommodation and everything, be at her room, knock on, and then just kind of expect like, you know, a guy to like rush out or something, and like she'd open the door and she'd be like, oh, well, like, wow, what are you doing here? And I'd be like, oh yeah, just surprising you, like just making sure you're not anyone. Like I'd literally, bro, there was a time when I literally thought, oh, someone's underneath the bed right now. What the man? When I look back now, of course, like some women cheat, but like that wasn't her. She was not that type of girl, like whatsoever. She had an illness called Crohn's disease. She was a very unfortunate girl who like had a lot of like health problems out of nowhere. But at the same time, she had such a beautiful soul. Like she literally would spend so much time doing like charitable acts, and she was like running like all these archery events for like the Crohn's disease charity. A very, very good soul. And I didn't trust her at all. Some guy would be on a Facebook friends list or something, and I'd keep asking her like, how many guys have you slept with? But did you sleep with him with a condom? Like how many times did you, like all this I'd be asking, man. She did lie about some of the things that I would ask about. So eventually, you know, she'd say like, oh no, like me and that guy, like we never did anything. Then like a week later, I'd keep asking her because I just had this gut feeling. And then eventually she'd be, oh yeah, like we did have sex like 2 years ago or something. And so that obviously like really, really heightened like the trust issues that I was having, to the point that, bro, like my mental health was fucking trash. I'd be sat next to her having these thoughts in my mind, not being able to like tell her about it. And so the smallest thing she would do, like she would just, you know, like touch me on my arm. I'd be like, yeah, she's a really good girl. Like, yeah, she loves you and everything. And then she'd kind of like go to sleep or something, and then I'd start thinking negatively about her, or she'd go on her phone and then yeah, she's cheating, she's messaging a guy right now. Horrible mental health, man. I still remember, man, there's one time we had like an argument about like, you know, guys that she had dated. I was so insecure. I went through her entire Instagram, every guy that she followed, every picture that they had, seeing like which ones she's been liking and all this shit, man. After this one argument about like Instagram and everything, I storm out, I'm saying horrible stuff to her, and then I had multiple voicemails from her, and I listened to one and it's her like crying and stuff. She just said that she's pulled out her hair. So I come back up and it's like she's literally ripped like chunks of her hair out. That really stopped me in my tracks, and like the love, the connection, the attachment is back. I hug her and everything. She has like a full on like almost like this big bald spot like right there. I remember even for like weeks after that, she would always wear like a scarf or something over her head. And so just a few weeks later, a month later, like her health really, really declined. She has to go to hospital a few times, and she never really acknowledged this, but I always knew like obviously her health is declining because of the stress of our relationship. She does have like health problems, but of course stress in like your relationships is going to aggravate those. And there just comes a point when she's just kind of like really, really in pain and everything, and it's just kind of like the decision, okay, she should probably just like go back home. And her parents, and she knew that, yeah, like she was coming to university, it was going to be like a challenge because she was away from like her normal doctor and her supportive family. And so when she called her mum next to me, it was on speakerphone, and like she was just crying, and her mum literally like knew, you know, mother's intuition, knew straight away, and the first thing she said was like, oh, like have you had enough, do you want to come back home? And she just said yes. So within just a few days they organize it all, and her parents come and pick her up, saying goodbye to her, and like she like burst into tears and everything. And I was like really sad that she was going, but at the same time like I kind of was relieved because I knew that I wouldn't ever be able to break up with her, but that if now she's going, she's going to move like 100 miles away. It kind of was assumed like, yeah, we're not going to continue this because obviously it's like it's only going to get worse if we do. I remember my best friend at the time knew that she was going, and so we had organized that as soon as she would go, he would meet me and we would play RuneScape all day. And then, you know, he would speak about it, and I tell him like, oh, I've not really processed it because, you know, you've been here, so I've not been thinking about it. So he understands. He goes home, and literally the moment he walks out of my door, bro, the moment he walks out of my door, I burst into tears, and I literally didn't stop crying for like weeks, honestly. And I really don't want you to go through the same thing. It's so easy with like the content you consume to have such a dark, negative view of relationships. Like most people think relationships aren't worth having these days, but most people want to have a relationship. You've got to understand that the stuff you see online is like the negativity sells. You know, the guy who makes a video saying like all women are hoes, all women are cheating, that's gonna get a lot of attention and views because it's so like enticing, it's so like emotional to us. One thing that's so incredibly important for you to take responsibility for is your own mental health. If you believe right now that most people can't be trusted, if you think that, you know, men ain't shit, if you think that girls are all hoes and stuff, please believe me when I say that that is literally just a symptom of your mental health, and your mental health cannot be good. There's so many girls I meet who say like all lads are liars, all lads are like all lads are cheaters. There's so many guys I meet who say the same thing about girls, and what they don't realize is like, no, not all guys are liars, not all women are hoes. The ones that you come across, the ones that you attract are, and that's because you are what you attract. When you improve your mental health, especially with presence, with meditation, and with gratitude, by doing gratitude journaling, just like research these two things, meditation, gratitude journaling, you'll find that you have such a more positive, loving outlook on life, and automatically you'll start to attract people who also have a positive outlook on life. Since I've implemented these mental health practices, I've made so much progress in my dating life that like things are so incredibly different. Scroll down right now and click on the subscribe button underneath this video. Share the video's link to your friend who might need it. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.